173. The Sweet Dew Incident. After Emperor Muzong's reign, Tang emperors were increasingly enthroned with the support of eunuchs. As a result, eunuchs gained even greater power, controlling even the fate of the emperor. Few dared to challenge them. In the second year of Emperor Wenzong's reign, Li Ong, son of Emperor Muzong, scholars from across the empire traveled to the capital for the imperial examination. Among them was Lu Fun, who openly criticized eunuch rule in his examination essay. He argued that for the nation to achieve stability, eunuchs must be removed from power, with administrative authority restored to the chancellors and military power returned to generals. Lu Fun's essay passed through the hands of several examiners, who greatly admired his reasoning and eloquence. However, when the time came to finalize the selections, no one dared to recommend him. Appointing Lu Fun would anger the eunuchs, and the officials feared for their own positions. In the end, all 22 other candidates who took the exam were selected, while Lu Fun was rejected. His talent was widely acknowledged, and his exclusion purely for speaking the truth left many outraged. One successful candidate even remarked, "It is shameful that we passed while Lu Fun was left out." Emperor Wenzong's frustration and his plan to eliminate the eunuchs. Emperor Wenzong, though controlled by the eunuchs, was deeply frustrated by the situation. He longed to eliminate their influence. One day, he fell seriously ill and urgently sought a physician. The chief eunuch, Wang Shoucheng, recommended Zhang Zhu, an official in his faction who was also skilled in medicine. After taking Zhang Zhu's treatment, the emperor recovered quickly. Grateful, Wenzong summoned Zhang Zhu and, finding him articulate and capable, promoted him to imperial censor. Zhang Zhu, in turn, recruited his friend Li Sun, a previously unremarkable minor official, and arranged for him to be introduced to Emperor Wenzong. The emperor, eager for allies, eventually appointed Li Sun as chancellor. With Wenzong's full trust, Li Sun and Zhang Zhu secretly conspired with the emperor to weaken the eunuch's power. They discovered that Qiu Shiliang, a eunuch under Wang Shoucheng, held a personal grudge against his superior. Seizing the opportunity, they advised Wenzong to promote Qiu Shiliang to command the Left Divine Strategy Army, splitting the eunuch-controlled Imperial Guard. Next, Li Sun stripped Wang Shoucheng of his military command. Without troops under his control, Wang became vulnerable. Finally, Wenzong ordered Wang Shoucheng's execution by poison. With Wang eliminated, the next target was Qiu Shiliang. Li Sun devised a plan in collaboration with General Han Yu of the Imperial Guard. The assassination was set for one fateful day in 835 AD. The Sweet Dew Trap. On the designated morning, as Emperor Wenzong held court, General Han Yu presented urgent news. A miraculous sweet dew had descended upon a pomegranate tree in the courtyard of the Imperial Guard headquarters. Sweet dew was considered a divine omen in feudal China, signifying a blessed rain. Seizing the moment, Li Sun led the court officials in congratulating the emperor and urged him to personally witness the auspicious sign. Emperor Wenzong ordered Li Sun to inspect the site first. After pretending to investigate, Li Sun returned and reported, "I have examined the tree, but I fear this might not be real sweet dew. Your Majesty should send another delegation to verify it." The emperor then instructed Qiu Shiliang to lead a group of eunuchs to inspect the tree. Sensing danger, Qiu Shiliang insisted that General Han Yu accompany him. As Han Yu walked toward the courtyard near the gates, he appeared visibly nervous and pale. Qiu Shiliang grew suspicious and asked, "General Han, what troubles you?" At that moment, a gust of wind lifted the hanging curtain near the gates, revealing hidden soldiers armed with gleaming weapons. Realizing the trap, Qiu Shiliang immediately turned and fled, rushing back to Emperor Wenzong's side. Li Sun, seeing that the plot had been exposed, ordered his soldiers to pursue Qiu Shiliang, but it was too late. The eunuchs had already seized the emperor and carried him away in a palanquin. As Li Sun grabbed onto the palanquin, refusing to let go, a eunuch struck him with a powerful punch, knocking him to the ground. Qiu Shiliang quickly escorted the emperor into the inner palace, ensuring his safety. The aftermath, a bloody massacre. With the plot foiled, Li Sun fled in disguise, donning a commoner's robe. But Qiu Shiliang immediately mobilized his forces, launching a massive purge. Dozens of officials involved in the conspiracy were hunted down and executed. Li Sun, unable to find refuge, was soon captured and killed while trying to escape. Meanwhile, Zhang Zhu, who had been marching toward the capital with reinforcements from Fengxiang, learned of the failed coup. Attempting to retreat, he was intercepted and executed by a eunuch supervisor. The failed coup, later known as the Sweet Dew Incident, resulted in the mass execution of over 1,000 people. The eunuchs, having survived an assassination attempt, now tightened their grip on Emperor Wenzong, placing him under constant surveillance. Emperor Wenzong's final years and the rise of Emperor Wuzong. After the failed coup, Emperor Wenzong's life became even more miserable. Under strict surveillance by the eunuchs, he lost all political authority. 5 years later, in 840 AD, he died of illness. The eunuchs then installed his brother, Li Yan, on the throne, who became known as Emperor Wuzong of Tang. 174. The factional struggles in the Tang court. During the era of eunuch dominance in the Tang dynasty, any court officials who opposed them were subjected to marginalization and persecution. However, among those who sought the favor of the eunuchs, 2 factions emerged, constantly engaging in power struggles and political infighting. Their disputes persisted for 40 years, a period in history known as the factional struggles. The origins of the struggle. The conflict began during the reign of Emperor Xianzong. That year, an examination was held in Chang'an to select officials who were willing to speak truthfully and offer direct advice to the emperor. Among the candidates were 2 junior officials, Li Zongmin and Niu Sengru, who used their examination essays to criticize the government. The examiners, impressed by their arguments and writing, recommended them to the emperor. However, this decision angered the Chancellor Li Jifu, an aristocratic official who looked down on those who had risen through the imperial examination system. He was particularly offended that Li Zongmin and Niu Sengru had openly criticized government policies, embarrassing him in the process. Li Jifu convinced Emperor Xianzong that the selection of these 2 men was based on favoritism, not merit. As a result, the examiners were demoted, and neither Li Zongmin nor Niu Sengru was promoted. The rise of Li Diyu and the intensification of rivalries. After Li Jifu's death, his son, Li Diyu, leveraged his father's influence and became a scholar in the Hanlin Academy. By this time, Li Zongmin had also entered the court, but Li Diyu still harbored resentment toward him for his past criticism of his father. During Emperor Muzong's reign, another imperial examination was held. 2 senior officials tried to pressure the examiners to pass their acquaintances, but the chief examiner, Qian Hui, refused to comply. Coincidentally, one of Li Zongmin's relatives passed the exam. Seizing the opportunity, the rejected officials accused Qian Hui of favoritism. Emperor Muzong consulted Li Diyu, who confirmed the allegations. Consequently, Qian Hui was dismissed, and Li Zongmin was exiled. Li Zongmin believed Li Diyu had orchestrated the scheme against him and deeply resented him. Niu Sengru supported Li Zongmin, and together, they formed a faction with other officials who had risen through the imperial examination system. Meanwhile, Li Diyu allied himself with aristocratic officials, leading to intense power struggles, power shifts, and political retaliation. When Emperor Wenzong ascended the throne, Li Zongmin secured support from the eunuchs and was appointed chancellor. He then recommended Niu Sengru, who was also promoted to chancellor. Once in power, the 2 immediately retaliated against Li Diyu, exiling him from the capital to serve as the military governor of Sichuan, modern Chengdu, Sichuan. At the time, a Tibetan general defected to the Tang dynasty. Taking advantage of the situation, Li Diyu led a successful campaign to recapture Weizhou, modern-day Lixian, Sichuan, a strategically important city. However, Niu Sengru downplayed the achievement, telling Emperor Wenzong, "Recovering Weizhou is insignificant, damaging relations with Tibet is far more costly." Under his influence, Emperor Wenzong ordered Li Diyu to surrender Weizhou back to Tibet. Furious but powerless, Li Diyu had no choice but to comply. Later, officials convinced Emperor Wenzong that relinquishing Weizhou was a mistake and that it was actually a scheme by Niu Sengru to undermine Li Diyu. Feeling regretful, the emperor began to distance himself from Niu Sengru. An endless cycle of political turmoil. Emperor Wenzong himself was under eunuch control and lacked firm decision-making skills. He frequently alternated between appointing Li Diyu and Niu Sengru, allowing one faction to dominate while the other suffered persecution. This constant power shift destabilized the government, and Wenzong himself lamented the situation, sighing, "It is easier to pacify Hebei than to eliminate the factional struggles in court." Despite their rivalry, both factions courted the favor of the eunuchs to gain political advantage. For example, when Li Diyu served as military governor of Huainan, a powerful eunuch, Yang Qini, was recalled to Chang'an. Many believed he would gain significant influence at court. Before Yang departed, Li Diyu hosted a banquet in his honor and presented him with lavish gifts. As expected, once Yang Qini returned to the capital, he strongly recommended Li Diyu to Emperor Wuzong. Li Diyu's return to power and the fall of his rivals. Upon Emperor Wuzong's accession, Li Diyu was reinstated as chancellor and swiftly exiled Niu Sengru and Li Zongming to the southern provinces. Li Diyu remained Wuzong's trusted advisor for several years, but his autocratic rule earned him many enemies among court officials. The final blow, the fall of Li Diyu. In 846 AD, Emperor Wuzong died. As usual, the eunuchs selected his successor, placing his uncle Li Qin on the throne as Emperor Xuanzong. Immediately upon his accession, Emperor Xuanzong dismissed all of Wuzong's ministers, including Li Diyu. On his first day as emperor, he removed Li Diyu from the chancellorship and, within a year, exiled him to Yazhou, modern-day Hainan Island. The end of the factional struggles, but at what cost? Thus, after 40 years of relentless factional strife, the power struggle finally came to an end. However, the prolonged infighting had weakened the Tang government significantly. By the time peace was restored, the Tang dynasty was already in terminal decline, with corruption and instability making it increasingly difficult to govern.